Hi, welcome to my new video. In this video I'm gonna talk about the Reaper DAW inside Linux. Let's go. This entire playlist is focused about audio production inside Linux, the audio driver, the setups, the performance enhancements, working with kernels, working with the real-time settings, etc. step by step. Now I'm reaching into the Reaper DAW. One of many DAWs you can use inside Linux, and yeah, to call Reaper popular would be a bit of an understatement, but yeah, let's move on. Earlier, long times ago, you had to work with Reaper inside a Wine environment, our environment which allows you to work with Windows programs inside Linux. Nowadays there's an official native Reaper Linux native port which we're going to use, and now we have to install it. Now there are two ways to install this package. Now either you can but you can also install it directly from the website itself, and yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. So now I'm going to show to you how can you install packages, in this case Reaper DAW, in Arch Fetch. So maybe now EndeavorsOS, which is an Arch derivative. That means it works basically just like Arch Linux in this specific case, but it also more, but let's keep things simple here. Now we just type in sudo pacman -s reaper. Yeah. Sudo is basically universal for all Linux distros. That means run command as administrator. A super user is it called in Linux, but that's basically what it is. Pacman is the package manager, and -s for synchronize to download it, and yeah, let's just do it. Then continue installation, yes. And if you then sudo pacman -ql reaper, it will show you the directives, the folders in which Reaper was installed into. I mean, with the Reaper DAW itself, it's not really that important, just that you know how to work with it. The user directive, which you can also find here. Yeah. Now, on other distros, Reaper DAW might not be in the official repositories. This is not a problem. What we are just going to do, we open a browser and hopefully it loads. Oh, it does. Then go to Reaper. Reaper audio production, yeah, shut up. Reaper production, audio production without limits. Download Reaper. And Linux and a green button. We press it. Download. Sorry, downloaded successfully. And nope. Go into files, downloads, unzip it. Then we can delete this file. Enter. So now we're gonna execute a .sh file. A .sh file is more or less comparable to, it's basically a Linux.x version. Kinda, not really, but for all intents and purposes, this is what this is. Now let's press ls. This will show you all the subfolders and programs inside text files, etc. in this folder here. And what we want to do, this green marked sh file, we want to execute it. How are we doing this? You copy, and then you press sudo dot reverse slash copy paste it in, and then enter. Then your password. Done. Yeah. Available commands. V for so. Now you can, press different buttons. I mean, V for reads Linux readme text and Reaper license agreement. Yeah, who does that? Then you can run Reaper directly from the downloads directive in which you currently are, which I would not recommend. Then install Reaper regularly. It will properly install it into your system, which you want. And then add desktop integration. Exactly, we are not going to use this one because we are just going to regularly install it. So how are we doing this? You press I, then install in opt, you press 1, so that we install in opt directive, then yes. Would you like to add desktop integration for this installation? Yes, we do. So would you like to symlink blah 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 to the opt folder? Yes, we do. Proceed with installation? Yes. So, installation complete. Now you can just open Reaper here. Then, add to favorites or just drag and drop it down here if you want. Now we are going to open Reaper. Now, Reaper is loading properly. Now the benefit you would have if you install it from the official repos, that it would get co-updated every time you make a system update. While if you install it directly from the website, you have to manually reinstall it. I mean, it's not that big of a hurdle, but yeah, just something for you to consider. Now that we've installed Reaper, we can launch it. And as you can see that when we launch it, it looks way too small. Not in terms of window size, but in terms of text size, etc. The screen is filled completely, but everything looks too small. And what is causing this issue? DPI scaling. And I will just show you how to fix it. So now you can see the installation process was successful. But one thing you will notice, the text is too small, etc. I mean, the bigger symbols, etc. So how can you fix this? Now, before I fix it, I will show you now. The problem you're currently having is a DPI issue. So how do we solve it? We go to Options and show Reaper resource path in Explorer Finder. Then we close Reaper. So now you are in the folder with color themes, cursors, data, effects, blah blah blah. Now what we're going to do, right click, open terminal here. Then you press sudo nano reaper.ini. Now there's lots of text here, but the only two lines of importance is URL scale and URL scale auto. URL scale you change from 1 to 1.5 and URL scale auto from 1 to 0 in order to disable this. Then you press Ctrl O to save, then press enter, Ctrl X to leave it. Then we can exit it. So, and then, as you can see, it's correctly sized, of course, now. Now that we have fixed this DPI error, after rebooting it, then we can continue to work with it. first of all, we go into devices. Devices where we are working with the Audiodriver. And since I'm working with the Pipewire Audiodriver, things are a bit looking differently. So now, this here is the interface for managing the Pipewire Audiodriver settings, tools, audio interfaces, etc. blah blah blah. But what I'm just going to show to you now I'm just going to launch Reaper. Now here you can see Reaper is also now in QVP graph. And yeah, now what we're going to do, we go to options, preferences, and now go to devices. Now as you can see, audio system check, because Easier for All is not available here, because Easier for All only works on Windows. Now we have input channels and output channels. Now what, for example, if you have one stereo input and 5 different input channels, mono input channels in addition to this. So 2 channels for input and output are not enough for you. You can just delete and replace it with a number of your liking. Then press apply, then OK. And then if you reopen the graph, you can see it has been modified. Now, one thing I'm going to talk about is launching Reaper with a fixed buffer size sample rate Audiosession. What am I talking about here? Now, Pipewire changes if you are not making any previous settings, like how we are doing right now. It will fluidly, dynamically change mid-production the buffer size and the sample rate to get the easiest performance on the computer, which is something we want to bypass. So how are we doing this? You just go into terminal, press Pipewire / the underline latency equals, then yeah, let's take this buffer size, 256, and then 96K, and then empty space, and then Reaper, and then now we have successfully launched the Reaper DAW with a fixed buffer size sample rate Audiosession. And you will notice in Reaper generally, especially if you're using a real-time kernel or a performance optimized kernel, but also in general the latency you can afford without getting, the aliasing sound effect you get, if your CPU is completely overwhelmed, is far lower than how it would be in Windows. So there's a significant performance improvement, depending on your hardware, etc. But all in all, for all different specs, you can expect a better performance on Linux. Thanks for watching this video. Keep working, because there's still much to do. And go read Berserk.